Okay, so the next thing is actually something called precomposition. So imagine I have this composition right here, and then I want to do something with it. So precomposition is actually when you have a particular object, you duplicate it multiple times, and then you want to use that object in multiple projects. So that's where precomposition comes in. So how we go about is like this. So imagine we have this text here, tutorials.com, and then I'll use the selection tool to actually increase the size a little bit. Alright, I think this is much better. So okay, so that's much better now. So actually what we are going to do is that I'll still decrease the size a little bit. Okay, so let's say we want to duplicate this item here and use it multiple times, but because of before that I'm going to create a precomposition. So you go to the layers panel and then click on the precomposition. So you give your composition name. I'll just leave it like my precompose, just something like that. Alright, that's much better. So now you can see that it has been added to the project panel here, and then if you go to the terminal panel here, you can also see it here. If I duplicate it multiple times, let's say 3 times, okay, you can see that I can touch any one of it. Okay, so that the good side of precomposition is that you can go to the main composition and then edit it, and then it will be affected to all the duplicates of this particular composition. So for example, if I change the color to, let's say, blue here, then you go back to the main composition, you can see everything has been changed to blue. If you go back here to, and then let's say we resize it a little bit and go back to the main, you can see everything has been resized. Now if you take a look, you can see that the box around it is actually you can't see the anchor point here. You can see that the box are actually too much around it. So what you can do, there is something called region of interest. So just bring your mouse here, and this region of interest, go to the main precomposition, and then use the region of interest to draw a particular region around it. Alright, so moving this part a little bit. Okay, and then let's move it upwards. Alright, that's too far. Okay, so what we have done is that we actually created a region for this actually main composition. So now what we are saying is that what we need to do is that we want to tell it that we don't want the part that is outside of this region. Okay, so to do that, you go to the composition panel again, and then you go to come to region of interest. And what come to region of interest will do is that it will crop this only side, okay, and then take off the external side of actually this region here. So if you crop it, for example, you can see the other side is gone. And if you go to the main panel here, now if you hover it, you can see that the region is actually very small around it, where the anchor point is. Yes, all of it here, and you can see. Okay, now what if we actually modify any one of this here? It doesn't affect the main composition here. Okay, for example, let's give this particular one, the middle one, a color of white. Let's try and give it a color of white and see. Alright, let's try to rotate it rather. So if you rotate it, you can see the other ones are not rotating because the main precomposition isn't rotated. But if you rotate the main precomposition here, if you navigate backwards to the main composition, you can see that all the duplicate of that main composition have been rotated here. So that's the use of precomposition, and it's very handy. It's very helpful when, let's say, you're creating a project and then you want to use a particular layer multiple times, and then you have to modify them. You want them to have the same look. You use the precomposition to create a single object, and then you modify it, and then the modification will be applied to all the duplicate of that particular precomposition.